All right, we're starting the alumni spotlight back up, and what better way to do it than with the great Steve Gunter. Steve, good morning, buddy.
Good morning. Good morning, Coach. Good to be with you.
Yeah, great to have we just excited to talk with you and visit with you and just hear about how things are going in life and just excited to hear maybe some other people can learn what you're up to and might I think inspire a couple of these young bucks. So Steve, I'll just do a quick little recap. Warrensville Heights High School Raiders. What's Warrensville Heights? The Raiders?
Warrensville Heights Tigers. Tigers.
I'm thinking Shaker or somebody like that over there. One of the rivals.
We don't.
Sorry, that's a goof up. We might edit that one out right there. But Steve ended up attending Toledo University on a football scholarship initially, and then ended up we're fortunate enough to get him to come to ONU. Steve started off as a business major and graduated with a religion degree. And I'll let maybe you kind of talk a little bit more about what you've been up to with your career as a police officer first, and then into real estate and your great family, your wife Tammy. Just talk a little bit about if you can just take us a little bit from graduation, and that'd be great.
Sure. When I graduated, it was an interesting time, just period. I mean, that was during the Great Recession. I don't know if you remember, Coach. It was an interesting time in our country. But Tammy and we had already come to visit Raleigh, North Carolina a couple of times, and we fell in love with the place. And so we knew that we wanted to migrate south, and so we did. And when we got here, it was. Look, I mean, it was a hustle. It was, look, we got to find something to do. And for a very brief period, for about a year and a half, I was actually working at Costco and Fidelity Investments, both part-time jobs. And so never forget it. I was working in the deli at Costco and skewing chicken, putting meats together, all of that stuff and putting it out. And then working at Fidelity Investments at a call center during the evening. And we were hustling. Mm-hmm. And then a year later, the opportunity to join the Raleigh Police Department presented itself, so to speak. Basically, I just wanted to do something that was probably a bit more active, we'll say. Sure. And that provided the opportunity. And I will tell you, it was one of the great experiences of my life because the men and women of the Raleigh Police Department are extraordinary people. And I mean, just some of the greatest people you would meet. And what's also interesting is that it reminded me so much of being at ONU, playing ball, teamwork, systems, operating based upon what is your role, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Sure. And, it really made a lot of sense to me. Sure. I did that for about 3 years. Mm-hmm. And about a year into it, I already kind of got the sense that I wanted to be in business. Always knew I wanted to be in business, but I need a little bit of money to be in business.
Sure, absolutely.
And so I got my real estate license, and I was doing both part-time for a short while. And praise be to God. I mean, things worked out, and then I was able to do it full time.
Well, if I remember correctly, we were also coaching some track during that time too, with your children.
Yeah,
one of the track clubs. I remember that too. So busy guy for sure.
Oh, that was a busy time. Oh, no doubt about it. The girls was having fun with it, and my son, he did it for a short while. But that was fun. Oh, we had a blast doing track and going from place to place. I tell you, that makes for really long days though. Track meets are all day long.
No doubt. For me, I got to make sure I have the sunblock on when I went to some of those track meets. If I recall, one time I got sunburnt was when you came over and met me when my daughter had a track meet down in North Carolina State. We had a track meet probably 2000. That was probably I think her senior year, 2017, and you met me over there at NC State, and it was the spring, early spring, so I wasn't ready for the sun yet. I got a little sunburnt that day, but it was good. We got a chance to hang out, and it was awesome that you were able to come over and we could catch up a little bit. So
that was
why
fun.
don't you talk some more about your family? Your wife Tammy, awesome lady, who was always, got to know her during your time playing here, and great family. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about your family?
Well, interesting. Tammy and I, we basically grown up together. We've been together my entire adult life. She's a little older than I am, but we've been together since 2003. And so, she has been the biggest supporter and just, I call her, I call her my superpower, really, because, the energy that woman gives me, she's able to do it like no one else. And what I really appreciate about Tammy is that in the early years of building a real estate business, Tammy actually stayed at home and raised the kids, took care of the house, provided that support, very much needed support in order to help us grow our business. In addition to listen to me complain and cry and whatever it was I had going on in my head during that time. And so I tell folks all the time, if it wasn't for my wife, we would not be anywhere near where we are today. And I'm just so grateful to her because of her extraordinary work as a person, as a partner. Right. And so, yeah, she's been unbelievable.
You can sense that energy just, the first time you meet her and all that. So make sure you please tell her I said hello.
Absolutely.
For sure. Awesome lady. So let's talk, I think professionally, following your success in real estate, it's pretty obvious that you're doing really well. And I really just want to, let you know, we're really, really proud of you and appreciate you. I mean, I can remember the one time we played North Carolina Wesleyan, you came over and talked to the team and did an amazing job. And you're just an inspiring guy. So I can imagine you as a leader in your organization, just really, getting that vision out there and getting people to align with the vision. So it doesn't surprise me at all that every time I look and see one of the pictures that you're posting with the Steve Gunter real estate group, it seems like every time I see one of those pictures, there's two more people. So I know I want to congratulate you for being nominated for one of the 40 under 40, I think is the award in the real estate in North Carolina. So I guess some of the results will come out later. Hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed on some of that. Just to be nominated though is pretty spectacular. So I just want to congratulate you on that.
Appreciate that, Coach. I really do. And, building any business is really hard work. I mean, doing what you do, building a program is really hard work. And anyone who is in a leadership role can understand fully how hard it is to get everyone on the same page and doing the same stuff, saying the same things. Right. I will say I've had I've had many great mentors, you being one of them in my life. And so I've been able to watch this as a young man, as a young boy, in fact, growing up and the football teams that I played on and of course the police department that I worked on for a period of time. And so being able to take all of those lessons and apply it to business has been essential. In terms of real estate as a whole, a lot of folks like to gravitate towards it because it's, there is a sexiness to it. I get that. It's, especially when you watch some of those real estate shows and it's
sure.
missions and all of that stuff. And, that's one of the myths that I have to quickly debunk with the folks who come to sit with me and explain to them, like, I'm not saying that kind of money doesn't exist in this business. Of course it does. But to get there, is the hard part. And the amount of work, the amount of discipline that is needed. and the systematic approach that you have to take. And I emphasize systems because it really is about systems. And when you can be that way and when you can operate within a system, then sky is the limit. Sky is definitely the limit.
Yeah, that's great. That's it makes a lot of sense, hearing you talk about that, and no doubt. So no surprise that you're able to apply those systems. So, hey, let's talk a little bit about the recruiting process. Out of Warrensville Heights, the Tigers, ended up at Toledo and then ended up here at ONU. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
So first I was actually recruited by Indiana University. And so I transferred twice. So
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So I started at Indiana University. Jerry DiNardo was the head coach there at that time. And then I did a year there, had a great time, still young mentally. And, especially with that arrogant attitude, very prideful attitude you have when you're young, and you need a little bit of humility in you.
Sure.
But anyway, that's, I transitioned from Indiana to the University of Toledo, and that was an interesting time. But I always felt that it wasn't the place where I needed to be. Right. It just did not feel like, Steve, this is where you should be.
Right.
And so fortunately, I got in contact with my high school head coach, and apparently he had been in contact with your staff at some point in time. And he said, here, I'm going to call Ohio Northern University and put you in touch with these guys. And it was just like, oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. And I was already at that time married. I was, and so my wife and I came down, Tammy and I came down, we did the tour and met you, met Coach Harrison, who was the defensive back coach at that time. Yeah. And it was just like, oh, this is it. This is where we need to be. And of course, the culture there at ONU is all about excellence. It's all about winning in every single facet of the college experience. And so that is what really drove me to become a part of Ohio Northern University and be a Polar Bear.
We sure are glad you made that decision. You had a lot of success. You were first team all conference corner and did well in the classroom, and just made us proud. And really, I think more than even beyond that, I think was you're a great teammate, and you were a young man who had matured and really helped, I think, some of the younger guys who maybe were going through some of those, moments we all go through when they were trying to figure out life. And I think you had a really good impact from, on a lot of your teammates, and helped them see what maturity looks like and what, some discipline looks like. So beyond just being a really good athlete, you were a heck of a teammate. So when you think of any memories like on the field, you had made a lot of good plays, wish we'd had you a few more years, but the time we had you was definitely enjoyable. Anything stand out? Any memories on the field or anything, just memories being part of the program?
Oh, I tell you one thing. I mean, how could you ever forget tour days? I mean, just getting out there, sweating it out, the mental toughness that you develop. Because I'm not even certain that you start with that. I mean, you have to develop that, and those opportunities to really bind with the guys, and that's where you really become close. I feel during that period of time, because it's hard.
Yeah,
sure, it's really hard. And so, you kind of have your moments where you probably get frustrated, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to get, away from all of these people, but you quickly learn that you need everyone in order to get through this, because it doesn't matter how talented you are. None of that matters. It's all about, hey, we have to figure out a way to get through this together and do it well so that we can perform at a later time. And so that comes to my mind. And then also, of course, singing that fight song, singing
Sure.
that fight song, after a game, and run down to that end zone and sing the fight song. I mean, that is a great experience, and it lives with
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I just, really appreciate everything that you did for us as a player and continue afterwards, whether it's coming to talk to the team or looking forward to maybe you getting, say you're going to swing through Ohio in June. Hopefully we'll get a chance to connect if that works with your schedule. But uh, any parting words of wisdom or anything that you want to pass on?
Well, I think for the guys, I think it's, all the student athletes, I really think it's about focus.
Mm-hmm.
And that word can tend to be cliche, but it is a very important piece of life's puzzle, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that if you can find a focus and not try to do everything, but focus on one thing and commit yourself to it and be great at that, then success is certainly ahead of you in every particular part of your life. And that's, with your family, that's with your spiritual life, your finances, business, whatever it is. But really focusing and relenting on that focus.
That's great. Love it. So proud of you. Looking forward to what, continue to watch your success. And I also, one thing I didn't mention that you also, I think was pretty cool is a couple years back, we had a young man by the name of Will Bowden who, wanted to get into property management and real estate. And you were gracious enough to get on the phone with him and pass on a few lessons learned. And he is doing well, by the way. He moved from Florida. He's up in Virginia and he's doing well. So I'm sure you had, gave him some good nuggets to take with him. So appreciate you in so many different ways, Steve. And please tell Tammy I said hello and can't wait to hopefully see you this summer. Okay, bud?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, Coach.
Okay. Hit the stop right there. Cool, man.